Okay, for the area that we were going to add the small gate in the garden bed area, we just built a simple door frame here out of 2x4. So it's something simple you can do. As you can see, we have these corner braces. Once you get your measurements out and you cut your pieces, and these corner braces are really useful to use to strap the pieces together. And this is the you can get them anywhere at either Home Depot or Lowe's or any other hardware store. This is the SKU number from Lowe's, and it's the company that makes these. It's galvanized, so that won't rust very easily, and it keeps it pretty solid. Now the key thing to remember though is you have to add it to both sides. So we just finished this one side here on each corner, so we got to flip it around and do the other side. So just make sure you add it to both sides to get a solid structure there. And then we're gonna, once we cut the fencing out of the other area that we showed you there, we're gonna use the air gun, the air compressor, to put a piece over this and staple some wire fencing to the front of this. That way it's not extremely heavy. And then we're gonna use these standard nickel hinges to add to that 2x4 that we just set down into the ground. Attach it to it with these hinges here, and serves as a simple gate. So, and then we'll add an eye hook here, so that we can use a bungee cord or something that we can wrap around to keep it closed if we need to. So just showing you what to do there. Like so, when we lift this up, as you can see, it's already moving because the other side's not done yet. So that's why you have to have it on the other side to really firm it up. So we're gonna finish that up, and then once we put it onto the 2x4 out there, we'll show you what the final product looks like. All right. Okay, so we've got our post set, back filled it in. So now we're going to be adding the gate. You can see this 2x4, even though it's just a 2x4, it's plenty strong enough to hold the gate that we're going to be working with, which is the one we showed y'all we built. So there, we just hadn't put the fencing on it yet, but it's got corner straps or braces on all four corners on both sides, and this makes for a really sturdy frame that will hold up over time. It'll go right in between there. As you can see, the post is actually the straight one, and the T-post is actually the crooked one, because we leveled that one, we just didn't level the T-post. So that's okay. As long as the door closes on it, we'll be fine with it. And serving the main purpose of keeping the animals out of that area. And I know turkeys can jump high, but you know, just something that discourages them from wanting to get over. So far it's worked. Even our short fencing has worked so far along the perimeter. It just kind of gives them an idea where their boundaries are. And we bought this 8-foot fencing. It already has the braided wire on the bottom, which is a plus, so we don't have to add our own. And I was gonna go with a 6-footer, but it was like $89.99, so almost $10 more. I can go a little bit wider to make sure we can get our side-by-side through here. A 6-footer we can fit it through, but it will be tight, so 8-footer will give us plenty of room to work with, especially if we're pulling something behind it as well, that we can pull a trailer or whatever back behind to the backyard for any heavy things we want to carry back there. So we'll be installing that to this post, and this one is done as well. We got a little bit of extra dirt there, but we back filled it and set down about 2 feet down in the ground. And we'll eventually probably add a light to the top of this, since we get pretty good sun right here. We'll add one of those solar security lights to it, so that it can detect anything that's up around this area here as well. So, and then we'll be moving those two T-posts down. So we'll be back once everything's installed. I won't bore you with that. Most people have already seen it and done it before. If not, we'll kind of talk it through real shortly after it's installed. All right. We're back. So I see we're adding the screen, the piece of fence that we just cut off over here. Basically, we're just reusing it. We just cut it off. We also leveled out the this pole right here, and then let me turn it this way. We also leveled out that pole to be more straight with the 2x4 post. We just pulled it out and re-drove it in with the level. Now we have a more straight doorway there, and then just tie wrap, staple the wire fencing into that post, and then just tie wrap it to this post. And now we're stapling it to the gate itself to add the barrier. And Christian's doing that for us here. The important thing with the stapler, just like with any nail gun, is to set your pressure, tank pressure, just to set it to where it goes into the wood but not too far into the wood. Like as you can see a close up here, you don't want it to where it's going too deep in the wood, and you don't want it where it's sticking out. So you kind of have to play around with the pressure on your pressure gauge. Do a test run before you start stapling or nailing, make sure it's right, and then move on from there. And then kind of note it down, jot it down, so you know what size nail, what size staple, and what type of wood you're using. Kind of note those down so you know your pressure settings. All right, we'll be back.